Hi there, it's Lisa Oliver, author, here today. I wanted to expand a bit on my last video, which was talking about courses and things like that marketers put out that are meant to attract people who want to make money with being an author. And the one I want to show you, I bought another one this morning. And the one I want to show you, see if I can do this without getting things up too entirely. There you go. It's called the Tiny Books Netflix Method, and it was put out by Paul J. Coleman. Now, I'm not doing any more of that because that's not fair to Mr. Coleman. You know, he's taken time and effort to put out this product. I paid $17.97 $17.97 USD this morning for it. And actually paying that price made me realize why people put these courses out. I mean, I effectively paid $17 for 23 pages. I've received a PDF file, and I will admit it lays out the logic behind the method. It invokes a couple of really popular names, and it does include a number of graphics. But there was a few things that I'd noticed as I was going through it, because I mean, who doesn't like the idea that I think you would have seen this in that little screenshot that I showed you, the idea of putting books up on Amazon that are basically a matter of 10 to 20 pages long, selling them for 99 cents each. Receiving, you do only get 30 cents each per copy for that. But according to Paul Coleman, you are kicking in an algorithm on Amazon that will encourage Amazon to actually promote your book, so you don't have to do any of the marketing factors or have anything to do with your readers, which is something that I'd mentioned in yesterday's video. And that's why I thought I'd do this one today as a follow-up. Now, as I say, Mr. Coleman, Paul Coleman, I don't know him. I have bought this just like any other customer would. And for all intents and purposes, there's nothing wrong with what I've bought. I do think the concept of whether or not you got value for money, I think is totally subjective. That's not what I'm talking about here. But there was just a couple of things about this that it's not that they put my book back up quite so much. It's just that I think they're just a teeny bit misleading. And I actually did get in touch with Mr. Coleman last year when he had sent me something, about this particular course and what have you. I've done it. Well, I used to do it quite frequently. I would get these marketing things, do you make $10,000 a month, with writing your books and things like that. And I used to write back and say yes, and how about you put a bit more detail in your course? And it wasn't that I was trying to be mean, hurtful, or, offering any conflict. That wasn't my intention. I really wish that people would be a little bit more transparent with the information that they put in these courses. Now, the first thing I thought to myself, because, one of the questions a lot of authors ask is why is somebody putting out a course? If you have found a workable system, a way to work Amazon's algorithm, a way to actually make a really good, solid income every month, why would you be writing a course about it? You either do it or you teach it. And a lot of people aren't very complimentary about the people that teach. But when I hit the PayPal button, that was one of the reasons why. I mean, if you look at it, this gentleman has definitely, he's put a lot of time into research and everything else. I'm not disputing that at all. But effectively, I paid $17 for 23 pages worth of content. If you buy one of my books, which are between 150 and 250 pages long, you're paying $4.99. So you can see there's a big difference. I'm not surprised he's writing a course. But anyway, let's just have a quick whiz through this. And as I say, I am not condoning this course. I am not promoting this course. I am not doing anything. I am using it as an example of the point I was making yesterday about how these courses, I believe, are unfair to newbie authors because they don't provide all the information that you need. Now, the other thing we need to note is this course is copywritten for 2021. So it could be that he has had an update since then. However, I purchased this morning, which is the 13th of March, 2022. So let's just, I'll just do a quick brief thingy because, as I say, again, if you want to know the ins and outs of his system, then, he's put this information together, not me. It's only fair that you buy it from him if you were really interested. But the gist of his idea, and I have seen this in numerous forms over the last couple of months, is that if you write short little shorts, and you put them in a series, then Amazon's going to pick them up because people are more inclined to read short, quick stories on their daily commute, or, they just don't have the time to read big, long books anymore. That's debatable too, because I don't have any problem selling mine either, but never mind. I don't expect my readers to read mine in one go. But anyway, so that's the crux of the idea. And honestly, that is a very common idea. It's a public idea, so it's not like I'm wrecking Mr. Coleman's his industrial secrets or anything else like that. You only need to do a search on YouTube for things like low content, no content books, low content, mid content books, short books, everything else like that. It's the big thing. Let's game Amazon, let's game Kindle by putting out things that are short. And for a lot of newbie authors, I can see the attraction. So anyway, this particular course, okay, so he explains about it. And he does, I don't think I'll be upsetting him at all if I mention here, because I'm sure this is all true. He does point out that this particular author that he's basing his system on has got the first of his book enrolled in Kindle Unlimited. And for those of you that don't know, Kindle Unlimited is part of the Kindle of the Prime. So people sign up for it and they can actually borrow the books from Amazon instead of buying them. And the authors get paid per page read. So if you were doing a book that was 17 pages long, the last page read amount that I heard, 17 pages times 0.0045, he would make 7 cents for 17 pages, so 7 cents every time somebody read it. But the thing with Kindle Unlimited is that a lot of people take a chance on new authors. So that is a hint that I can give you that you can put away. And this guy's quite right about that. He's saying the first book was enrolled in Kindle Unlimited, the other ones weren't enrolled at all, and they're all priced at 99 cents. Realistically, for 17 pages, 99 cents is about as good as you're going to get. And he's also right in that anybody who does this, if they're going to, if they're getting about 30 cents each per copy, which is what you get because the royalty on 99 cents is only 30%, then it adds up. If you've got a lot of these books and you're making decent sales every day, that money does add up. That is all perfectly true. I totally agree with them on that. And obviously it fluctuates because any author's royalty income fluctuates, but it is possible to make some decent money if you apply it and write lots of books with it. He mentions a couple of other things. But this is where I kind of do wonder about the way he's talking about the Amazon algorithm. Now, I think the one thing that all authors will tell you, no matter who you talk to, is there are a lot of experts who think they know about the Amazon algorithm, and there are lots of all sorts of people, particularly marketers, who try and tell you that they know how the algorithm works, so they know what it is that will trigger the Amazon algorithm to make it so that Amazon will promote your book to the millions of people, visitors they have on their site every day. And I'm sorry, and I don't know this for sure, I'm being perfectly transparent here, but I call bullshit. Because Amazon tweaks its algorithm all the time. Nobody knows what causes a book to be popular and another one not to be. I know in my genre, I actually have to promote the link from my book all the time because my readers can go online and onto Amazon and search for me and not necessarily find the book. So, there are so many different things with the Amazon algorithm that, quite honestly, if you're relying on that for your success, I don't think it's a very consistent way of making a success. So can I just put that bit out there? Because this series here mentions nothing about marketing. In fact, he touts the idea that marketing isn't necessary because the Amazon algorithm will do it for you. Another way that this course kind of falls down a bit is he's come up with two really big names. Now, I wasn't aware of this, but apparently James Patterson and Dean Koontz have both, or Dean Koontz, I'm sorry, have both done Amazon Shorts. Again, this is public information. I'm sure I'm not, destroying any of Paul's secrets by mentioning this. I'm also would suggest that that the target market for this particular course wasn't James Patterson or any other famous author. So the fact that, what have we got here? We have got 1, 2, 3, 4 pages of this 23 pages devoted to how well James Patterson and Dean Koontz do with their short stories. So I can see that that's used as a form of motivation and everything else, but it's failing to mention that both of those authors have huge readership numbers already, that they don't need to publish to promote their work because they have got reputations that are, been ensconced in years and years of avid fan mail, avid readers and really enjoying their stuff. So it's kind of a bit of a misdirect, I think, to, on the one hand, I think Paul has given his idea or this particular scheme credibility, in that he is using two big name authors as examples, and they're obviously easily referenced, they're easy to find online. So, he's been very transparent in that respect. But by the same token, he hasn't again mentioned, or he's tended to forget about the fact that people like James Patterson didn't need any help selling books in the first place, because he's already an extremely famous author within his genre in his own right. So his situation doesn't really apply to the newbie sitting at home hoping that they can make money from their writing. I kind of think that's a little unfair. But anyway, this chap does go on to say, Paul does go on to say, that the guy who originally did this system, and you do find out who he is, and if you want to find that out, you're going to have to buy Paul's work yourself. But he says that this guy has done better than James Patterson, better than Dean Koontz. And I scrolled through the pages and I didn't find any proof of that. And again, I'm not saying it's wrong, because one of the things that Amazon is quite, it's quite big in its terms and conditions, is that they don't like for people to discuss their earnings. or they never used to anyway. But he points out that, this particular method is based on certain, on other successful systems in other types of media. So, that's it's totally understandable. And so then again, we get another 3, 4, well, we get about 5, 6 pages and more. No, about 6, 7 pages concerned with what this author who created this system actually does. And that's kind of the guts. But he does also spend an awful lot of time on the cover, which admittedly is really important if you're a new author. He is very good at breaking it down, what this guy has done and why it's effective. But he still makes the point that, he also mentions how transparent this particular author is in the way he's titled and tagged his book, which again is a really good thing. You can't say his readers are going to feel disappointed at only getting their 17 pages. But then he goes on and then that's basically the end of the book, because Paul then comes up with a whole stack of links, which are all very useful links on where you can get book cover artists, where you can get royalty pictures. He mentions very briefly about whether or not you would use this method to create fiction or non-fiction books. And again, I'll leave that up to you to read that if you're interested in it. And then he provides, he points out that the particular author this system is based on did no promotion whatsoever, and he still succeeded really, really well. But then Paul seems to think, well, you might just, you might benefit or think about how much better your system would be if you did promote. So he's created 2, 3 pages full of links for help on how you can promote, and that is really handy. And then he's sent you another 2 links on other courses for short content that you might be interested in. And that is what he's done. And then, of course, there's a 2.5 page legal part, which, of course, because, of course, he's got to watch himself as well. He can't, say that you're definitely going to make money from this or anything else. And he's been really good and professional in outlining the different ways, the different limits on the system, and on, obviously he doesn't want to be held liable if somebody, pours their effort into writing a 17-page book and then doesn't make hundreds of dollars every month. The other thing that I would really like to mention here, and I've got nothing against courses like this. As I say, I think this is about the 4th one I've bought in the last 2 weeks, all from the same place. I'm not saying that they're bad things. I'm saying that they're misleading. And it's a shame to me that a lot of newbie authors get caught up in this. But the reason why they get caught up in this, they are looking for the quick and easy. They are looking for something short and easy to do that requires minimal effort, yet makes the maximum return. And you can't blame anybody for wanting that. I'm sure it would be amazing. But in fact, years ago, I was married. I'm not now. I haven't been for over 8 years, but years ago I was. And, my husband and I were raising 6 kids. So times were tough. And we used to spend so much of our time wishing for that magic button on the internet, wishing for that special thing that we could do that would allow us to make a comfortable living. And all of our kids grew up and left home, and then he left home too. And I did find my way, but it wasn't the magic button. It was sitting down it was writing a story for me. It was putting it out to the world with no expectation and sod all marketing, because I didn't know a clue about that 8 years ago. And it was honestly a combination of luck, genre, and time. You know, things were different on the internet 8 years ago. And there's a heck of a lot more competition and a lot more noise now if you want to be recognized as an author. So all I'm asking is, I'm not telling you don't buy these courses. You know, I respect any author's right to make their living any way they please. What I am saying is, you might not get what you want from one course, because I personally haven't found a reasonably priced course yet, and by that I'm saying under $20, that does the entire thing, that says how you can start your writing career, that combines all of the effort, all of the elements of what you should write, when you should write, how you should write, what do you do when you finished writing, how you get your book prepared for publishing, and the marketing side of it as well. And then how you take that system and rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, so that you can build up a consistent income on through Amazon or through your writing efforts. But anyway, heavens, that is 21 minutes. I have got to stop. But yeah, post your thoughts in the comments below. Please keep them kind. I am not slanging this author or this course at all. I think it's a clever idea. I just wish it had a little bit more detail. And if you did like this content, would you please hit the like and subscribe button, because this YouTube stuff is still very new for me, and I still do a happy dance every time I get a new subscriber. So contribute to that for me, please. I'd really, really grateful. And in the meantime, hug the one you love. I'm going to go and take my bread out of the bread maker. See you next video.